I'd just like to extol the virtues of this M500, which I used for one of my covers, the song People, and was very impressed with it. You can see I'm on my Earthworks at the moment, and I've set this up. I'm just going to switch over to the M500. Now I'm on the M500, and I should tell you that the gain is on maximum on the desk because they're low output. It's a little bit bright, so what I'm going to do is just take the top down, take the treble down from flat at 12 o'clock to about 10 o'clock. Got it down to about 10 o'clock there, and I'm going to go between these two mics. This is the Beyer with the top reduced slightly. And now I'm on the Earthworks. I'm going to take the top of the Beyer down a little bit. Blind now, it's not on. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. Going to bring it a bit closer. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money, wrapped up in a 5-pound note. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. I'm going to put just a bit more of the top back on. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money, wrapped up in a 5-pound note. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money, wrapped up in a 5-pound note. Now, I don't know if it's me, but I reckon they're fairly close. Really. Isn't that something? I could be wrong. It's got a little bit of its own thing going on. A bit too much on the top for my liking. It was designed for live. This is the Earthworks. Got to bring it closer. Earthworks has got more of that. Going to have a look at from above. I think it's quite interesting inside. I'm going to show you, but just round this off. Finish this part off with the breath parts. Different sound, isn't there? Let me put this back to flat. Different sound, but I'm thinking to my mind, but the detail's there. Bear in mind, 1969, designed for live. Don't know how they did it, but it's cardioid or hypercardioid, I think. Hypercardioid. I don't know how they did that with the ribbon, because ribbons are naturally figure of 8, as you can imagine, either side. Let's have a look inside. And I don't know. I think it's charming, really. Have a look from above. Here we go with the Beyerdynamic M500. They come in various guises over the years. And as I say, I think this one's maybe kind of 80s. Difficult to tell. I'm not sure what the barrel is made of. I suspect aluminium. It's quite light. However, let's get to the interesting bit. Not that that's not interesting. They don't all open like this, by the way, I can tell you. So you have to figure out, if you can't find any way of opening them, maybe it's because it opens this way and it's got a bit stiff over the ears. We'll leave that bit till a little bit later. This has got foam, as you can see. Now, I'm pretty sure I put that foam in there. I can't remember if there was foam before and it had rotted, which it does, or whether I did that just for some extra blast protection. I'm trying to figure out if there's... No, there's not. So there's not any other finer mesh underneath that. There may have been foam there before when it had all rotted. I saw evidence of it and put that. It's very fine, that one. Excuse me. Now we come to the business part. So you can see here that there's a kind of shape, a housing of a mesh, which is nylon or something. Underneath that is another trough of mesh. Can you just about see through there? Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to see the ribbon. It is visible sometimes if you get the light correct. Do my best. Hey, can you see it there? Oops, it's all back to front, a bit upside down for me. There's the ribbon, and you can see it's got pleats there and there. Often those pleats would be all the way along. Now, I don't know if you can see that along, heading this way, can't do this, why not? No. Along there on the ribbon, it's got longitudinal pleats to make it stiffer. So I think the idea with that was, whoops, and either side here, you can see them going through there is the magnet. The idea of doing that was to make that middle part pistonic, apparently. So it would move, the middle part would move like that, rather than if the pleats were along this way. So this whole bit would stay stiff, and then the suspension kind of be at the ends. So what that does, apparently, is increases the high frequency, because ribbons are known. Oh, you can see there the foam. There's foam underneath there. Look, no, it's looking. I can even see on the camera that it's not looking in particularly healthy. No, never mind. Maybe that's to do with the directivity, which might be why when I was around the side there, when I did the comparison a while ago, it sounded a bit different there. You could replace that, I suppose. Yes, you could. You have to be very careful. Anyway, yeah, so what they did apparently is they made that part stiffer in the centre to increase the output. Some people say it adds to some sort of distortion as well. But ribbons aren't known for being very bright at the top, whereas this one is. And also they made it unidirectional, so if, you know, quite something that's gone on there. I mean, really, what I would like, maybe Earthworks, I know Earthworks don't do ribbons, well, I haven't, is, I mean, and Beyerdynamic did do an update of this called the V90R, of which I have. I think I prefer this slightly. Whoops, let's be careful. Pay attention to what I'm doing. I wonder. about neodymium magnets, which we have. You can cut ribbons now with laser rather than before. I think it was perhaps done with a blade or a guillotine or something. Maybe the Beyerdynamic one where it's flat for quite a lot, as you saw. Maybe not flat for quite so much to reduce some of that. I just wonder, because to me they do sound lovely. And as you know, perhaps, it's very pure in the way it works. If this is the ribbon is very thin, very fine, so that's why it's got all that pop protection over it. They were said to be delicate. The blasts of breath could just destroy it. If you took the ribbon and did that, it would just crumble. And also, the earlier ones, if they didn't have a transformer, these do, in the body, then phantom power would run through the ribbon and destroy it. A lot of these, all these have a transformer in them, so you can use it on a desk with phantom power, as I've been doing a lot. No problem. The transformer isolates the ribbon. And the blasts of breath are taken care of by that mesh, as you saw, and I think that's probably why I put the foam in there. Can't remember, anyway, just to have that little extra bit of protection. So the way it works, as you can probably know, you can look at this on the web. And what I like about them is there's your ribbon, which would be aluminium, of course, not wood. And it's got a magnet either side of it, positive magnet, and the breath vibrates it. And that induces, with the magnetic field, induces a current in the ribbon. And then they take north and south, or negative and positive, either end of the ribbon. So what I like is the simplicity of that. The current is induced in the very thing that your voice vibrates. And of course it's very light, as you can imagine. With a dynamic mic, you've got your diaphragm, then you've got a former stuck on the back of it, then you wind the coil of wire around it, and then all that moves in relation to the magnet. But you can imagine you've got your diaphragm, which is quite large, and then you've got this thing stuck on the back of it, the former. Can be aluminium, can be always light stuff, but then you've got the wire wrapped around it, so it's quite a lot to move. As we know, condensers are different. They vary their capacitance, so they're a lot lighter. They haven't got all that stuff. But the ribbon, how beautifully simple is that? And such a... It works so well that I wonder if we really went for it now. And I know people are like Rode and other people with their studio ribbons, but Beyerdynamic was so ahead of the game, it seemed to me, in '69 producing these, that if they have a real go now, I wonder. Anyway, there you go. Beyerdynamic M500. Well worth a punt, if you like the idea.